I never thought betrayal would sound so quiet. No screaming, no slammed doors, no dramatic confrontations. Just silence that settles into the walls and watches you breathe. My name is Laura Whitcomb, and I have been married to Rowan Hale for 11 years. We live in a modest house outside Bristol, the kind built for routines. I cross a line in our bedroom, and the moment passed without witnesses. But what followed has been unbearable. Rowan stopped speaking. Not angrily, not cruelly. He simply withdrew, and that absence has been louder than any accusation. I am counting every second alone. Our marriage was never flashy, but it was steady. Rowan is an architect, deliberate and precise, the sort of man who believes silence should mean peace. I work in clinical administration, schedules and checklists, order everywhere. We shared dinners, weekend walks, and the soft predictability of shared sleep. The distance did not start with a mistake. It began earlier, unnoticed, like damp under floorboards. We spoke less, touched less, assumed love could idle without fuel. I told myself this was normal adulthood, not a warning. That belief felt sensible then, comforting, and disastrously wrong in hindsight for me alone now. The night I crossed a line was not reckless or wild. It was small, contained, and stupid. A colleague, an after-hours drink, a conversation that drifted too close. Nothing graphic, nothing cinematic. Just a decision made in a tired moment, in my own bed, when Rowan was away on a site visit. The guilt arrived immediately, sharp and clean. I ended it before it began to grow teeth. I told myself confession would be painful but curative. I was wrong about that too. I rehearsed the truth repeatedly, hoping honesty could stitch what I had torn apart inside our lives. When I told Rowan, I expected rage. I expected questions, accusations, rules. He listened without interrupting, eyes steady, jaw set. He nodded once, like receiving a measurement. Then he said nothing. No threats, no tears, no demands. He slept on the sofa and left early the next morning. Since then, his voice has vanished from our house. He answers emails politely, coordinates logistics, pays bills. At night, the space between us feels deliberate, engineered, almost instructional. It is a punishment without spectacle, forcing me to sit with consequences I cannot negotiate away or reframe into something survivable for us alone. Silence invites interpretation. I fill it with dread. Rowan does not shout because shouting would let me respond. He does not interrogate because questions might offer absolution. His quiet is exacting, a mirror I cannot avoid. I wake early, make coffee, hear only the kettle. I speak and stop myself. The house keeps score. Friend asks how we are, and I lie smoothly. Shame prefers clean surfaces. Inside, I'm unraveling, pulled apart by minutes that never end. I think about accountability constantly, wondering whether remorse matters when trust has already been exhausted by choices I can never undo fully. I replay the boundary crossing, not to excuse it, but to understand the hunger beneath it. I wanted to be seen, not touched. Wanted recognition, not escape. Those distinctions do not save me now. Rowan's silence reframes everything. It says a marriage continues in form, not in spirit. It says consequences do not require cruelty to be effective. I have apologized without defensiveness, offered counseling, time, space. He acknowledges receipt, nothing more. The contrast is devastating, my noise against his calm. It exposes my impatience and his resolve, leaving me suspended between hope and deserved loss without guidance or mercy. People imagine forgiveness as a conversation. In reality, it is often an atmosphere. Rowan controls the climate now. He cooks for himself, eats earlier, leaves notes about practicalities. He does not punish me financially or socially. That restraint hurts more. It suggests dignity rather than spite. I find myself bargaining internally, drafting speeches he will never hear. The line I cross feels permanent because his response is consistent. Each quiet day teaches the same lesson, patiently, relentlessly. Accountability, I am learning, is not a performance but an endurance test without applause measured privately by the one you hurt most deeply. I do not know what Rowan will choose. Silent can precede repair or finalize endings. I live inside that uncertainty, trying to behave as someone worthy of a second chance, if one exists. I stopped defending myself. I stop narrating my pain. I focus on consistency, transparency, patience. I leave my phone unlocked, my schedule clear. These gestures feel small, almost absurd, but they are all I have. His quiet forces me to confront who I am when consequences arrive calmly. I am learning humility late, accepting that remorse does not entitle me to relief or immediate reconciliation from him. Some nights I imagine him leaving, quietly, the way he has learned to move. Other nights I imagine him staying, still quiet, a different kind of leaving. Both possibilities terrify me. I crossed the line believing damage could be contained. I was wrong. Damage spreads through tone and timing, through what is withheld. Rowan's silence is not cruelty, it is clarity. It tells me what I risked and what I may lose. Love does not need volume to pronounce judgment. I sit with that verdict daily, hoping accountability might someday reopen a door without erasing the harm I caused entirely. If he speaks again, I will listen. If he leaves, I will accept it. Silence has taught me the cost of crossing lines more effectively than anger ever could. I am not asking for sympathy. I am documenting a consequence. I cross a line in our bedroom, and the punishment is not noise but distance. Rowan's quiet has changed me, stripped me of excuses. Whatever happens next will be earned slowly, if at all. Until then, I will remain present, accountable, and quiet too. That is the only honest response left to me now after choices shattered trust and certainty.